You're watching the April edition of the Library Roadshow, a production of your East Baton Rouge Parish Library System. We just saw some of the events coming up at your library, and with so many free events for you to choose from, our monthly newsletter, The Source, can't even begin to list them all. So go to the library's website, ebrpl.com, and browse that online calendar of events. It's searchable by date, location, and interest. And remember my favorite word, free, free, free.
To get your pages turning this month, Tamika and I decided to do All the King's Men in honor of Swine Palace's must-see production. We also decided to do fictionalized biographies, and here's one that we really loved. The Paris Wife by Paula McLean is a story of ambition and betrayal. It captures a remarkable period of time and a love affair between two unforgettable people, Ernest Hemingway and Hadley Richardson. In Chicago 1920, Hadley is a quiet 28-year-old that has all but given up on love until she meets Ernest Hemingway, and her life changes forever. After a whirlwind courtship and wedding, they set sail to Paris, where they become a golden couple in a group that includes Gertrude Stein, Ezra Pound, and F. Scott and Zelda Fitzgerald. Though deeply in love, they are not prepared for the hard drinking and fast-paced life of jazz-age Paris, which does not value traditional family practices. Surrounded by beautiful women and out-of-control egos, Ernest struggles to find his voice. He pours himself and his experiences into his writing. Hadley also struggles to hold on to her sense of self as the demands of life with Ernest grows costly, and her role as wife, friend, and muse become more challenging. Despite their strong bond, they find themselves facing a deception that will lead to the unraveling of everything they've worked so hard for. A heartbreaking portrayal of love and torn loyalty. It's a fascinating read, Tamika.
Well, this month I read All the King's Men by Robert Penn Warren. This is, of course, the rise and fall of a political titan in the Deep South during the 1930s. It is loosely based on Louisiana's Governor Huey P. Long. Willie Stark rises from poverty to become governor of his beautiful state and its most powerful political figure. He blackmails, he bullies, he institutes a series of liberal reforms designed to tax the rich and ease the burden of the state's poor farmers. He is surrounded by a mix of political allies and, of course, hired thugs. The story is also about Jack Burden, who turns his back upon his genteel upbringing and becomes Willie's right-hand man. He uses his considerable talents as a historical researcher to dig up unpleasant secrets about his enemies. When Jack starts looking into a judge, he uncovers a secret that leads to a suicide, which leads to a series of consequences that ends in Willie's death. This death forces Jack to rethink his desperate belief that no individual can ever be responsible for the actions or the consequences of other actions. The 2006 movie starred Sean Penn, the hot Jude Law,
Yummy,
Kate Winslet, and Anthony Hopkins. And for something up close and personal, don't forget the Swine Palace production. I'm so excited about seeing it.
Me too. Some other great fictionalized biographies are Claude and Camille, a novel of Monet by Stephanie Cowell, Woodsburner by John Pipkin, and Pearl of China by An Chi Min.
And that's how the page turns.
Thanks, Tamika and Chandra. This is such a compelling story. Whether you see it as a play, watch the movie, or go right to the source, Robert Penn Warren. And there's such a connection to our own local history, as well as the rich literary tradition of the South. You can find this fictional account, as well as fascinating biographies of real-life political figures, at your local library. And now for today's contest. We'll draw from the names of everyone who posts to the Facebook page and shares what they've enjoyed in IndieFlix, our newest streaming resource for independent films and documentaries. And while you're there, enjoy. What's coming up on the Library Roadshow next month? We're winding down with spring and revving up for the summer reading program.
Next month, I'll show you how our bookmobile connects with the community at one of our many spring events here in town.
Need to find your school's accelerated reading list? Next month, I'll show you how easy it is to find information on the books your child needs to read for school.
Next month, I'll be out and about with Kayla on the bookmobile, bringing literacy to a town near you.
And I'll be gearing up for summer reading.
Thanks so much for joining us on the Library Roadshow. And remember, Your East Baton Rouge Parish Library is open 7 days a week at each and every one of 14 locations, plus 24/7 on the web. Check us out at ebrpl.com.